Good afternoon, everybody. It's so lovely to see you today. Welcome to Hot Jobs with us here at Hire Military. If we haven't met before, I am Lucy Robinson. I am one of the recruiters here at Hire Military. And today with me is Amber Pitkin. Hey, Amber, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Lucy?
I'm not bad. It's nearly Friday.
It is not. It's only Tuesday.
I know. It feels like a Thursday. I really would like it to be Friday. It's so great to be with you. And hey, Dion, it's so lovely to see you in the chat with us already. If you are new or if you're an old friend of ours, please do stop into the comments and say hi. We really love to see you. We also love to hear from you. So give us something to read whilst we are talking and give us a question rather that we can answer along the way today. So if you're a SkillBridge intern seeker, a job searcher, if you're just looking for any kind of recruitment or job search advice, information, suggestions, or even encouragement, we are here for you. Hey, Rita, so great to see you. Hi, Mike. Mike is actually in the background today. He is our director. So if anything weird or strange happens, it is totally on him today. Olivia, our lovely marketing guru, is on PTO. So don't forget to check the links as we discussed today. In the description to this event, you will see some links to events and also to resources. And a couple I would really love to draw your attention to are our website, which is hiremilitary.us. Under resources there, you will see a couple of pieces that Amber, myself, and our marketing team have put together to really support your journey and your job search. So one that I cannot emphasize more than I already do is the piece that we wrote about how to target your resume. Amber and I both know that you hear that phrase all the time. We both know that we ask you to do that. We know that people don't get to interview because they don't do that themselves. So as a consequence, we created a piece that didn't just tell you what to do, it showed you how to do it. So if you've always been a bit confused, you've wondered why, you're a great candidate with exactly the right skill set, but you're not getting through to interview, please do take an opportunity in a moment to have a look at that, because it really might be worth your while and potentially might reposition what you actually consider a resume to be. And maybe we can talk about that today, Amber, what a resume actually is, because Amber and I both work with transitioning service members. We work with spouses and we work with veterans, but let's talk about the transitioning service member community potentially, because often when they meet with us, it's the first time that they have applied for a permanent position since they joined active duty, since they either enlisted or went down the officer route. And, we know what people don't know what they don't know. And we have to spend some time working with them to reconfigure and redesign their resume. And I see you nodding there, and I don't want to put you on the spot right now, but I'll kind of kick off and then we can have a conversation about that, because I've always said that a resume really should lean you forward. You think about it like a car. So a resume should take you forward. It should take you to the next role. So that you're not looking in the rearview mirror. You're looking through the windshield. You are reflecting yourself into the next role, rather than telling the company that you're applying to about the rear view, which is what you've done. So Amber, do you want to kick off from there? Because I feel like I've monologued already.
Yeah, no, I would say along those lines, I look at, when we're looking at job descriptions that we're given, by our clients, or I'm even looking at other job descriptions that maybe somebody sent me and said, hey, look at this role, you look at my resume, like how does that look? I look at job descriptions like it's a question. Mm-hmm. The company is they have a need that needs to be filled. Essentially, there's a role that they need filled. They need somebody to be able to meet these requirements, and your resume should be easily the answer to that, right? Because that's going to set you apart from everybody else. And I was going to ask you a question, Lucy, and I hate to put you on the spot, but as a recruiter, and you've been in this world for so long, does it help when service members or anybody, right, when they're applying for a job, if they bold things in their resume that highlight the job, parts of the job description, the responsibility or the requirements?
Oh my gosh.
That tacky?
Well, you know what? I think I know why you're asking that question, because we both looked at a resume earlier that was bolded. I loved it. I wouldn't. So let me share with you this. This was my opinion, because that candidate or that applicant was very much tech oriented, IT. It very much drew me to his tech stack. It identified where he was and what he had, which is required for technical cyber IT type roles. There's so much, many certificates, programs, all the expertise that isn't normal or ordinary in a typical candidate's resume, that I really appreciated it, because there was something specific that I was looking for, and I could go through really quickly and I could see that. So on that occasion, 10 out of 10 for me. If it was for, so let's compartmentalize that and put that. I've just read Mike's comment about you. So long. That's nice, isn't it? Yeah, and I've got the wrinkles on my face too.
I meant it in the most loving way too.
I know, but I don't see many resumes like that. But today, when I saw it, I really appreciated it. And as a recruiter recruiting for a technical role, 100%, I would give that the thumbs up and the green light. For any other kind of, like, let's say, typical type of position that we're applying for, program management, ops management, yes, you can do, but I don't necessarily think that it is as optimal as it is in a technical type of role. So let's talk about that. I always say that when you target and tailor your resume, you should take a look at the qualification section of the job description first, okay? So when I work with candidates, they're all going through the responsibilities, which always come first. And I'm like, no, let's skip to the end first. So let's skip to the qualifications. We need to take a look and see, do you match the majority of the criteria there in that qualification section? It is okay if you don't. It is not okay if you don't and something's a deal breaker. And you will know if it's a deal breaker, because it will say essential, and it will say essential requirements A, B, and C, and then it will have desirables X, Y, and Z. So if you have those essential criteria and then you have the desirable, and you really want that to jump off the page to a recruiter who is looking at your resume, because let's not forget, yes, resumes do go through the dreaded ATS. That could be a story for another time. That could be a conversation for another time, the ATS, couldn't Amber. But ultimately, resumes do get seen by eyes, by human eyes. So you need to make it abundantly clear that you are suitably qualified for the role. You need to make it clear that you are the solution to the problem. And the problem in the job description is the qualification criteria. If you fill up your resume full of what I call filler information, which is everything that you've done, but isn't going to help you get a job, it just tells a story, but it's a deviation of the story that I need to and I want to read, then that isn't going to be good for you. What you really need to do is make sure that those qualifications jump out to the reader in the professional summary and throughout the resume. And then what I suggest is go through and look at the responsibility section and make sure that if you've performed all of them previously, make sure that they are in your resume. And this isn't the occasion to take their words and rewrite your own, to paraphrase. I absolutely say pick up their language that they have utilized and throw that in your resume for a couple of reasons. You and I both know, Amber, that when we have a job description, we are playing a matching pairs kind of game. We are looking for the keywords from the job description, and we are doing a metaphorical check-off, aren't we, to see if a candidate has that. But also because culturally, you want to endeavor to align yourself with the company that you're applying to. And the example I like to share is if you were applying to, let's say, an ops manager role at Rolls-Royce, and an ops manager role at Tesla, as an example, the positions might be very much the same in terms of the day-to-day tasks and duties, but the feel and the culture and the environment and the core values of both of those companies are night and day. And you need to demonstrate the version of yourself that is going to be appetizing to that specific company. So regardless of the fact that you're applying to two ops management roles that have fundamentally the same requirements, you are going to use different language. You're perhaps going to use more innovative language, more dynamic words to identify that you are a great fit for Tesla. And if it's Rolls-Royce, you may kind of rein it back a bit and make it slightly more traditional. So you need to understand that from our perspective as recruiters, we're not just looking for what you've done and what you're capable of doing in the future and how you are going to be the solution to our problem. But we want to know a bit about your personality as well.
Mm-hmm. Can I add something to that?
Please.
Part of, and I get this question often, and I see a lot of comments on LinkedIn about, I submitted my application and I didn't even get, a call back or, an email or something like that, or I did and I was declined. And people always ask, why is it, if you have a job and, you have 100 applicants, why aren't you interviewing all 100? Because we can't. That is a lot of people to interview. I mean, and even if you're coming from, a company that has thousands of people who can do it, it's just, that's not a great way to utilize your resources being your interviewers, your trainers, whatever. And so, we limit it. We find the top, whatever, 10%, or if, the client says, hey, give me the top 5 or the top 10, that's our job. We have to go through and find who has the best resume. And that is how, when you're targeting your resume, bringing it back to what Lucy said, you want to make sure that you are the answer to that job description. And that's how you're going to set yourself apart from the rest who might not do that, and end up in that top 10% pool who does get to go on to interview and then a second interview and potentially, a job offer. So.
And following on from that, let me share with you the biggest mistake that the majority of applicants make. And if you don't make this mistake, that puts you nearly in the top 10% alone. They don't tell me that they are who I am searching for. So let me explain. If I'm recruiting, as I am at the moment, for a federal business developer, I went through 10 resumes today that came in overnight. Not one of those resumes had business development in that resume at all across 2 pages. And I did Control F to look. Not one of those 10 resumes had business development professional in the professional summary at the top. They didn't have those words. They had program manager, they had ops manager, they had a HR manager. And facetiously in my head, very flippantly, I'm going through going, I'm not recruiting an HR manager, I'm recruiting a business developer. So, I don't know, resume 101. If you legitimately and literally put yourself and identify yourself as the professional to the job description, that will get you through compared to all the others, because you're actually identifying and setting the scene and saying, hey, this is who I am and I can do this. Like I said, I'm not looking to recruit an HR manager. I'm looking to recruit a business developer. But Amber, I think we've got quite a few roles today to share, especially on your side, haven't we, on the SkillBridge internship side? So shall we move on?
Absolutely.
And if anybody has any questions at all, I can see there's a couple of comments here. Jacob, Mike's made a lot of comments here. If we have the chance, we definitely will get back to you, but we do have a fairly full event today. So before we move forward, I'd just really like to take the opportunity to say thank you to our sponsors of today's program. You would have seen all of their logos in the intro credits as we opened up. And one specifically that I really want to draw your attention to is a company called GBC Food Services. They are Dallas, Texas based, and they are the organization, the company that you will know them, but you never knew that you knew they existed. So as you walk into a grocery store and the first thing you see is the deli counter, you see the sushi counter, you see the cut produce all ready for you to pick up, grab and go, you think nothing of it. That's part of the grocery store, but it really isn't. All 3 of those kiosks, for want of a better word, are owned and managed, operated by GBC Food Services. They work on a franchise basis and they really want to hire new franchise owner operators from our military, veteran and spouse community. You will have the opportunity to run your own business, but within the greater confines of GBC, who will give you everything you need in order to be successful, but also within that grocery store environment. Yes, it is a 7-day-a-week operation. However, all owner-operators that we have connected with and spoken to have people who work with them and for them to manage that piece. And it really does allow you the freedom to run your own business, but with so much support underpinning and overarching you. If you're like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting, but I'm not even SkillBridge internship eligible just yet, they have and will open up these kiosks to those who are looking to intern for SkillBridge or for CSP if you're Army. You do only work 40 hours a week per the MOU. And even if you don't want to do this post-active duty, what it will give you is a couple of months of really learning how to run your own business, from operating statements to profit and loss, to supply chain management, to purchasing and buying. They will share and they will train you with all of that knowledge. So if that sounds of interest, please do drop a comment below. Or if you're watching this after the live event, we would love to see a DM from you, either me or Amber, in our DMs here on LinkedIn. So that's the first one I wanted to share. In addition, as we are going through the opportunities today, and if you were playing catch up or if you are watching us in real time, everything that we have is hosted on hiremilitary.us. So if you want to be a motivated job searcher, and you want to read more about the roles in real time, do definitely take a look there. If there is a role that we mentioned that you are interested in and you'd like to hear more about, please do drop us a comment in the chat here, but let us know which role it is. Please don't just write interested, because we come back after the event and we like to know what you're interested in. So the first role that I have to share today is for those of us who are in the network engineering field. And this one's at Fort George Meade in Maryland. So we are looking for a senior network engineer on behalf of a leading GovCon. This person will be responsible for designing, implementing, and maintaining network infrastructure. It really requires a deep understanding of networking and telecoms, as well as the ability to troubleshoot complex network issues. So for us, the ideal candidate will have a strong IT background. They will have a bachelor's degree in an IT-related subject and a technical expertise with an emphasis on networking and ideally telecoms. Two things that are the deal breakers, the highlight elements of the resume for this one are a secret clearance is essential, and also substantial experience with Internet Protocol version 6 or IPv6, you might know it as. This one's paying up to around $190 and it is an immediate start. And so we would love to hear from you if this sounds of interest to you or you want to hear more. Second, what do I have? From IT to IT, this is a cyber role, cyber test analyst. And this one is based out of Buckley Space Force Base in Colorado. So that's Aurora, just in the Denver metro area. So there is an element of travel with this one. Travel is up to Boulder, which is still in Colorado, not very far away, but also to LA, Los Angeles, either to the installation there, the Air Force installation there, or to a couple of other large federal integrators just off site. So this one's working between LA and Colorado, but it's based on site in Colorado. And we're recruiting a cyber test analyst to create a cyber contested environment. This is working with the installation there. So ideally you will have space systems, GPS, missile warning expertise and experience. You need a bachelor's degree. You need to have a TS clearance. And if you are SCI eligible, all the better for them. And really, they are looking for one of the following. So the GIAC instant handler, so that certification, the CISA one, CISP, or GCED. So you do need to have one of those certifications, and ideally CISP as well. If you've got CompTIA Sec Plus, even better. We would love to have a chat with you. So this is a cyber role with a large element of program/project management experience out of Aurora, Colorado, so Buckley Space Force Base. And the last one for me today that I am recruiting for is said business developer role. So really what I want is somebody who resides either in one of the New England states or in Virginia or Maryland. So DC Metro or New England. And that is a deal breaker. That is essential criteria. That said, the role itself is remote. So it's a remote position, but you must reside in one of those states. And really what we are looking for is somebody who has extensive federal business development experience. So you are, or you have expertise in the technical proposals, in the pricing, RFIs, RFQs, all the acronyms. You have scouted and scoured GovWin. You are familiar with SAM.gov. If this sounds like you, and you really do need to have this experience because they really dive into the detail in the interviews, please do connect with me because I would love to make an introduction. This is with another GovCon, and we absolutely love the people there. And I really would like to introduce somebody from our population. Finally, another one of our corporate sponsors today is National Testing Network, and they have nationwide opportunities for police officers and firefighters. So if you have zero experience but have always wanted to know how to get into this sphere, how to get your foot in the door here, look no further than our website. If you go onto hiremilitary.us and go under permanent jobs, there will be one job that says police officer and one that says firefighter, and we will make the warmest of introductions to them, and they will find out and identify where you are located, where you would like to work, and start to match you up with testing and progressing through that system. So that is National Testing Network, and they are nationwide opportunities for police officers and firefighters. So, like I've mentioned, head over to hiremilitary.us to find all of these roles and more. And please don't forget to join the talent pool whilst you're there. That essentially is our database where we know who is available, who is looking for work right now. And it's the easiest way, apart from you connecting with us here on LinkedIn, for us to keep in touch with you. And we share our opportunities regularly, ordinarily every other week. Amber, enough from Direct Hire. Over to you for SkillBridge.
Awesome. All right. So I'm going to talk about SkillBridge internships. But before I do that, I wanted to kind of go over what SkillBridge is. We often get questions about what is SkillBridge, who qualifies for it. So SkillBridge is for transitioning service members within their last 6 months of service. So if you're in active duty currently and you're separating within the next 12 months, 18 months, you might be looking at what is available for SkillBridge now. If you have a question on whether or not you're eligible, the first place you want to go is to your command team or your transition office so that they can look at your record and see that you are eligible for SkillBridge. And additionally, if you look at our website, hiremilitary.us, and we don't have anything listed there that is of interest, that's okay. Like Lucy said, we post new things all the time. And additionally, if you have a company you've already talked to that you think would be a great fit to work for and they're interested in bringing you on board, we can make that happen for you. So if you have any questions, feel free to message Lucy or I, and we will get you the information. So I'm excited because the first role I have to share is brand new. And it's with one of our amazing partners. We work so closely with them. They're fantastic. It is with Skillsform. They are looking for a SkillBridge intern to work as a U.S. partner programs manager. Now, this position is remote, but I will say that they do prefer you either be located in Jacksonville, Florida, Seattle, Washington, or the DC metro area. So the job is remote, but you do need to reside in one of those locations. So as a U.S. partner programs manager with Skillstorm, you will have the opportunity to deliver strategy, sell to key industry partners on behalf of Skillstorm. In this role, you will manage the strategic relationships, technology, partners, and drive revenue through their partner programs, account team management, and other opportunities. This position does require a high level of organization and an ability to dive deep in and to have a real passion for learning. The qualifications for this role, they do want 2 years of technology related sales, business development, or technical program management. Additionally, a powerful sense of ownership, a drive to deliver results, experience with communicating with senior leaders, and strong organizational skills, as well as a curious approach to business, willing to learn again and dive deep when it comes to how to develop business relationships. So again, this is a remote position with Skillstorm, and it is a U.S. Partners Program Manager. If you are interested, definitely put a comment in the chat and I will share the link after the live. And the next role I have is in Columbus, Ohio. This is with the Sherwin-Williams company, so the paint company. We all know Sherwin-Williams. They are looking for a quality assurance technician, a quality lab technician to work within their facility there. Basically, they're looking for somebody who has a high level of quality assurance. If you have manufacturing process improvement background, really they want someone with some mechanical and electrical background as well. So they want someone to help work on the team alongside the maintenance technicians when it comes to overseeing, the basic correcting of equipment breakdowns, facility maintenance, support for the site. They want a quality manager within the lab to assist with that. And that is on site in Columbus, Ohio. If you are interested in that role, put a comment in the chat, Sherwin-Williams, and I will share it right after this. The next one, we're going to go down to Huntsville, Alabama. So this is with Willis Corporation. They are looking for a senior provisioner for their UAV helicopter program. Basic requirements for this is you need to have experience working on the UH-60. They want someone to help analyze, coordinate, and develop the provisioning logistical functions for the UH-60 kilo program they have down there. This is a hybrid role, so it's a couple days on site at the Arsenal in Huntsville, the Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, Alabama, and then there's a couple days at remote at home as well. So experience UH-60 would be fantastic. And again, that is senior provisioner UH-60. The next role that I'm going to go to is going to be a project engineer, construction project engineer in Seattle, Washington with land contracting. So they are looking for a highly competent and motivated individual to bring on board as a project engineer. So they want someone who has a bachelor's degree in construction management or mechanical engineering or electrical engineering or equivalent work experience and knowledge of some construction concepts as well to work on their team. Essentially, this person will help help with management, administrative support to the project manager and the superintendent in terms of facilitating completion of the project. So meeting scope, schedule, budget, all of that fun PM stuff. So if you are interested in that, that is in Seattle, Washington, and that is a project engineer role. And finally, we have equipment technicians. We have announced our 2025 dates with our partners at Texas Instruments. So they are looking for equipment technicians to bring on board their team in Salt Lake City, Utah. The facility is brand new and it is fantastic. And if you go to my LinkedIn, I did a post today and there's an awesome video in there of the facility. If you share it later, I absolutely will again. But they need equipment technicians to help work preventative maintenance, equipment repairs, as well as upgrades and installation in their semiconductor LFAB facility that they have there. So it's a fantastic opportunity. Their Valor program is top notch. We have worked with them for several years now. The Valors love it. And so they are starting cohorts January, April, June, and September. And really all you need for this role is 3 to 8 years of electrical or mechanical experience, either personal or professional. So if you had experience prior to the military, that is perfectly fine as well. So if you have any questions on this one, I would love to share more info on Texas Instruments with you, especially the Salt Lake City, Utah location. And if you are interested, I'll share the link after this. And again, this is just a few roles that we have. All of our roles are at hiremilitary.us and join our SkillBridge talent pool, and we will be posting more soon.
Thank you so much, Amber. So many SkillBridge internships and quite a lot of interest there as well. Remember, if you are interested, please do drop a comment below or connect with us in our DMs. And what we would love you to do after today is head over to hiremilitary.us, because what we have shared today is purely a wave top of what we actually are recruiting at the moment. Do join our talent pool. We have one for the SkillBridge internship program, CSP, if you are Army, and one for those looking for permanent jobs. And it really is the best way to stay connected with us. Please do remember us next Tuesday. We are always here every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for Hot Jobs with me and Amber. And until then, thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks to Mike for being director extraordinaire in the background. And we will see you again next week. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.